You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options. Facebook.com/TheOptionsInsider or via questions at TheOptionsInsider.com.
Join us now for the expert source for inside information on the options markets. It's time for Options Insider Radio with your host, Mark Longo.
All right, and welcome back to Options Insider Radio, the interview program here on the old Options Insider Radio Network. We welcome on guests from throughout the world of options and derivatives and proceed to pick their brains. For the benefit of you, the listener, my name is Mark Longo from the OptionsInsider.com, as well as, of course, from the ever-exciting Options Insider Radio Network. If I sound a little bit different, perhaps a little bit blustery, it's because we're outside here at the FIA Boca conference here in scenic and sunny Florida. So I thought we'd like to grab a little outdoors time down here whenever we get the chance. The studio's fun, but outside in Florida in March, there are definitely worse things. And of course, as always, we like to bring you on this program interviews, discussions with people who are shaking up the world of options and derivatives. And we pick their brains a little bit for the benefit of you, the listener. Our next guests are actually they're not newcomers to the network, but they're newcomers to this program. We have Sean Smith, the Managing Director of Derivatives Licensing and Exchange Data, and Ron Bundy, the Global Head of Strategic Accounts, both of them over there at FTSE Russell. Gentlemen, welcome to the Options Insider Radio program.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having us.
So, Sean, both of you have actually been on the TWIFO program. This is your first time kind of sitting down outdoors, al fresco here in the Boca
really
conference. But let's start off. Obviously, it's been a little while since we checked in with you guys. Let's say the last month to month and a half has, I think you can put it charitably, was interesting. A lot of things going on, particularly in your bailiwick, the index world. So give us an overview, kind of what did you guys see over the past month? What were some interesting highlights, some interesting nuggets going on in Russell land as all heck was breaking loose over the last month and a half?
So, Mark, you're right. We've seen a little bit of volatility coming back into the space. 2018 has gotten off to a bang. We have at FTSE Russell, we have over $15 trillion benchmarked to our indexes now, and that continues to move with the market. But it's been a very interesting couple months. 6 weeks as we've come into this, and the level of volatility that we haven't really seen for a while, and so there's a lot going on.
Let me ask you guys anecdotally, you guys obviously engage with customers all day. You're down here probably talking to customers this week as well. What were some of their responses to this? Was this a welcome return of volatility? Were some of them maybe caught a little bit unprepared, a little bit of both? What are you guys hearing anecdotally from the clients and customers you guys interact with?
So I've been talking to several customers about specifically volatility and the opportunity to trade, and they have welcomed this volatility. They actually see it as getting back to just a normal, healthy volatility rather than one that causes people to exit the markets. That's not the case here. Volumes and open interests continue to grow in various derivatives products, and it's been refreshing to have it back again.
But you're right. The return of volatility is certainly a welcome event. People pretty much the entirety of 2017 were lamenting to us, and I'm sure to you guys, where has the vol go? How low can it possibly go? Oh, it can go lower. So that was kind of the refrain of 2017. Maybe people didn't want it to come back maybe so quickly in a handful of days like it did. But it's hard to believe anyone was kind of not prepared for that. At the end of the day, it has been kind of the talking point for over a year now in the marketplace that vol was returning. And certainly you're right. Maybe not a volatility of that aggressive level, or a wind of that aggressive level as we get hurricanes picking up here in central Florida. But still, it is kind of interesting to see all that coming down. So have you seen a lot of interesting, volume highlights over the past month? What have you guys been seeing kind of specifically as all the markets have been very topsy-turvy of late?
Volumes have grown specifically within the Russell 2000. We're seeing excellent growth. The volumes continue on an upward projection of which we forecasted, but they're beyond our expectations at this point, and we're very excited about that. The fact that we had transitioned the business back to the CME, the products are now in a very healthy environment where trading against other products, credit efficiencies that are created in a nice equity suite of products, just enhances the opportunity and the customer's experience trading. And Russell has benefited from that, and they're going to continue to benefit because we see the growth, and it's going to continue to grow.
Apparently, we chose to chat in the middle of a brewing hurricane here, so
Yeah.
Hopefully, I see the dust.
Winds are picking up.
I see the dust getting blown up by
From the
bocce
dust
court
over here
behind you.
too.
So
We'll talk about volatility.
Yes,
bring the winds back.
It is bringing the winds back.
Wind back in the sails.
I know before we started recording here as well, Sean, you were mentioning the roll is kind of proceeding, maybe exceeding your expectations. Tell us what kind of volume you're seeing out there.
The March-June roll is actually started late last week, and volumes are, between 400 and 500,000 contracts a day. There's a tremendous block and BTIC activity on CME Group, and it's just really healthy. I think the CME did such an excellent job of educating the marketplace on these various venues to transact and to simplify the process that traders, fund managers, everyone that is active in the derivative space has just has been utilizing every avenue to get their transactions the way they want them done, and custom with the BTIC and with the block facility there.
Some of the listeners may not know what you mean by BTIC. Why don't you run that down for some of our audience
Sure.
there?
BTIC is the basis trade at the index close. So two parties will agree on a basis and agree to transact futures based on the closing of the cash index. So you add basis to the index price, you have a futures price. And that ability to have that transaction it's just so simple, and it really makes it easy for the two parties to enter into a transaction at a single price, where there's it's not in the market taking actual slippage risk. It eliminates that, and they can negotiate that basis trade, and it's seamless, and it's so easy to do.
And of course, we're down here at the FIA Boca conference, kind of the annual gathering of the global derivatives industry. What is it that brings you guys down here? Anything specific, or you have any announcements, or is it really more of just a kind of catching up with clients and customers and partners and all that fun stuff?
This is a great venue, Mark, for us to catch up with a whole host of our clients. It would take, you have all of the exchanges from around the world here, the executive teams. We have a lot of our practitioners, our trading firms that are here. So this is a great opportunity for us to come together, see a whole host of industry participants, and it would probably take me a month to fly around and see everybody that I see here in just a couple days. So this really is the one big event for the year for the futures industry, and kind of brings the entire industry together.
And I often joke that we have to sometimes come down to Florida to talk to people who are half a mile away from our studio in Chicago, but for whatever reason we can't make it happen. So come down to Florida, and everyone suddenly is willing to come to Florida in March when it's sunny and a little bit blustery out there. Well, Sean, one of my favorite products, and I always like to check up with you whenever you guys come on about it, is RVX. Of course, the Russell VIX in and of itself. It's one of the ones we keep an eye on. We keep looking forward to that one making a strong resurgence onto the scene. Give us some updates there on what's going on behind the scenes with RVX.
RVX continues to trade. It's still, I think, really early days, so volume's light, but it's continuing to grow. The CBOE is doing a fantastic job of bringing market awareness to the product globally. They have lots of information about RVX on their website. It's a fantastic product, and it trades not in tremendous volume, but the more volume that trades, the more eyes that volume begets volume, right? And it's one of those products that we are very, very bullish on at this point.
And I'm sure you're out there, maybe even down here, doing kind of the tour of the market makers and liquidity providers. They're kind of the ones you have to get on board with that. Are they receptive to a new VIX product, something that's a little bit more structurally volatile? Is that a conversation they're pretty open to these days?
Absolutely. VIX versus RVX is one of the trades that folks are looking at because there's a real opportunity there. So the folks at the CBOE and the liquidity providers are all taking a really good look at that. That's a great question, and it's just gonna continue to grow.
There's always that catch-22 whenever you're launching a new product, or in this case, maybe trying to restart a product. People, want to commit when there's volume, but there's no volume until people commit, and so it's kind of that song and dance that always goes on with a new product. So hopefully, we'll get some people to the table soon in RVX, and we'll see those numbers starting to grow. I'd imagine in this environment, a little bit more vol across the board, and then RVX usually structurally higher than VIX itself probably will open a few eyes to some possibility, and certainly. That, as you mentioned, that spread trade between the two, when things get nice and out of whack, is when things start to trade a little bit more out there.
Right, exactly.
And no concerns, obviously, about some of the, shall we say, headlines coming out of the VIX camp of late over the last few days. No concerns there about that impacting the product going forward?
Not that I've heard. I don't know if you've heard any. Ron,
No concerns. I think CBOE is has done a very good job. Communicating back, with us and what's going on, and we don't see, I have not heard of any issues whatsoever there.
Well, guys, we're down here at this conference, and people like to break news sometimes. It's just us chatting right here; no one's listening. So I thought we maybe just between us guys chatting here, maybe we could leave ourselves here, maybe a little bit of hint, a little bit of a tease. Obviously, we talked RVX. Anything else you guys have maybe up your sleeves percolating that our listeners, us, can look forward to in the coming months from FTSE Russell?
So we have, we're constantly innovating and bringing in new products. We don't have a big announcement for this year's show, but where you see us really having a lot of focus is we're doing a lot now on the multi-asset front. So of course we have, we're very strong in equities with our Russell series and our FTSE Geese series. We've just recently finished the acquisition of Citi's fixed income business, and so now we have a whole host of new capabilities in a multi-asset arena. You'll see us, putting a lot of resources in those types of products, going forward.
Well, I'm glad we got a chance to catch up. Hopefully, a little later before the conversation is done. So maybe before the hurricane comes, we should wrap up. But I want to thank you guys for coming on the old network again, and I'll look forward to how all these developments play out in the marketplace in the coming months.
Oh, we look forward to continuing talking to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.